my channel. My name is Carly Stevens. I'm the author of the young adult fantasy Firian Rising, and this is English Nerd. So today I just wanted to kind of sit down and have a chat. I don't have much of a plan for this video exactly, except to thank the people who made 2019 such a successful year for me, and encouraged me through the process of writing and publishing my first book, and also to especially encourage those of you who are feeling discouraged at this point in the year with your writing. So grab a cup of tea or coffee or whatever you like to drink. I have coffee early in the morning when I'm looking puffy and terrible, so I decided to have a cup of tea instead. So I would do a lot of things differently looking back from the way that I did them releasing Firian Rising. I think I did a lot of things well as far as a first-time author goes. I had the launch planned out, I had my author platform in place. It wasn't huge or anything, but I had some searchability by the time the book came out and all of that. There are a couple things I would have done differently. I would have had better communication with my editor. I would have used a different website service that was easier to use, because I'm really not that great at doing websites, and so I'm kind of chained to this website that's really difficult to change anything about. So if you've seen my website, carly-stevens.com, and you've thought, well, that's so-so, it's because I'm not a web developer and I don't really want to pay for somebody to make it awesome, because at this point I don't have enough cash flow. And yeah, so right now, just where I am, Firian Rising has been out for about 6 months officially, and it's doing all right. I mean, I keep doing things to make it more visible, but it's not like I've made my money back or anything. I want to be very clear and open about that. Writing a book doesn't mean that you immediately make a bunch of money. Some people can write a ton of books all in a row and do well for themselves, but that's not the story of most of us. So if you're struggling to sell books or struggling to finish books, then you're certainly not alone. Also, in the last half of last year, I experienced some pretty acute anxiety and depression, which I dealt with depression a little bit off and on, like never so much that I had to, go on medication or anything, but anxiety was new for me. So I wondered why there were so many YouTube videos about writing with anxiety, writing with depression, and now I know. I don't think that the writing triggered it exactly, but it's a struggle just to live when you're experiencing pretty consistent panic or, just really acute depression. So I wanted to say to anybody who's in the same boat as I was that it's okay, completely okay, to take a break. Like, don't beat yourself up. If you need to take care of yourself and just go back to your writing later on, then do it. Even reading a book or watching a movie or something like that will still keep your story mind going, but yeah, never regret taking off some time if you have to for yourself. That is something that I didn't really allow myself to do exactly until I had to. There was a point when I had to take time off work and go to the doctor and get some medication just to kind of function day to day. But anyway, I just wanted to say it's okay if you don't write as fast as other people do, or every day, or you need to take care of yourself from time to time too. Another thing that I've noticed with a lot of writers is that they compare themselves to others. They'll read something and go, gosh, I could never do that. Or they'll read something else and say, how did this become a bestseller, and when, my book is barely selling anything. Honestly, I feel like you can take some encouragement from both of those. that's good. I haven't had ginger tea in a little while. I would recommend it. Ginger tea. It's good for you. Anyway, yeah, you can take encouragement from both of those, because the way that I try to look at it anyway is, if you read a book that is better than yours, or a description, or there's a character or something that you feel like, wow, that is beyond my skill to do, then that means that there is room to grow. That means that you have these excellent models and inspirations that you can head toward, and the more you write and the more you practice, the better you're going to get. It's just the facts. You're going to get better at writing characters, you're going to get better at writing settings, which is encouraging to me, because recently I went back, I just started teaching a creative writing class again, and I was trying to find a setting from some of my earlier work, like early, like high school, that was not good, so that my students could improve it, with the different tools that I had been talking about. And I finally found a big chunk of setting, because normally I just sort of weave it in. And I was reading back over it and I was like, this is actually surprisingly good. Like, have I gotten better at all? And I had this moment. But now that I'm back actually writing consistently, just about, well, not every day right now, because I'm in the editing phases of my book, but much more consistently than I ever have done in the past, I'm going to get better. I am going to get to the point where I can write an ending like Marissa Meyer can write an ending. That's a goal of mine. I try to be inspired by those people who are better than I am, who are doing things that I want to be able to do. And if I read a book that is doing well and is not great, like it's just not very good, that's encouraging to me too. Even though my book doesn't sell particularly well at this point, I am looking at the long game. I'm planning to put out the sequel to my first book in May. Hopefully, if all goes well. I might have to push it back a couple weeks just to give you the best possible version of it, but I'll keep you updated. And then I plan to have the third final book out in the trilogy probably a year from now. So I'm looking down the road. I don't expect to be a bestseller right now. And if a book that's not very good can become a bestseller and people can love it anyway, then that means that there are people who can love my book too. So instead of getting angry or feeling entitled or something like that, it's better, I think, to go, you know what? People connect with this book. They're bound to connect with mine as soon as people discover it. And if it's never the same number of people, then so be it. I mean, there are those things that have impacted your life, and you're just one person. But that doesn't make it any less important. I mean, that it matters to you. So even if you only connect with a few people, you try and you have just a handful of stalwart fans and that's it, then you have a few stalwart fans, and that's something worth being happy about. So hopefully this was encouraging to you. I just wanted to share a bit of the struggles that I've had. Some of the feedback, for instance, for my book was not so great, but as long as you have a positive mindset, or at least one that forgives yourself for mistakes, then you can move forward. And remember, any progress is progress. That's the last, I'll leave you with that point. Any progress at all is progress. If you are writing just a paragraph or two a day because you don't have time otherwise, or you're dealing with some other stuff, then you're still moving forward. That's still more than most people are doing. If you didn't finish NaNoWriMo, so what? Tons of people didn't finish NaNoWriMo. Progress is still progress, so don't give up. Don't give up. Still keep progressing forward. Give yourself some grace. Yes, strive for great things, be inspired to be better, but don't give up. Continue to move forward, to reach out for help if you need it, and that's pretty much all I have for you today. It's just a very informal video. If you have any questions or additional encouragement for those writers out there who are maybe struggling with the same things that you are, then please put those in the comments below. Let's make this a place where we can kind of talk through these things. I know that although I've published a book and that's awesome, and I plan to publish some more, it's not like I'm suddenly rich and famous and doing really well or anything like that. It's just, it continues to be work day by day. Alright, well, I wish you all the best this week as you are writing and thinking of your stories and getting better as time goes on. So, I'll see you next Monday. Bye.